All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Strength Classroom. Today, I'm continuing on with my Conjugate method series, and today it's about dynamic effort lower body workouts and how I structure them. So, for those of you that like watching my videos, it's nothing groundbreaking, but if you like watching my videos and you are interested in the Conjugate method and have some trouble setting it up, then this might be a great way to learn how to structure it. So here are some rep ranges I find that go well with speed squats. 5 sets of 5, 10 sets of 2, and 8 sets of 3 with 50 to 60% of your 1 rep max, and then 25% is in the form of bands or chains. Now, I've done all sorts of things with this. I've done different bars, I've done it to a box, I've done them to pins, I've done them just straight up, I've done them to a box, I think I said that already, and as long as you're consistent with what you're going to do that cycle and you know what will carry over to your explosiveness. So for example, right now I'm doing them to pins and I'm using the safety squat bar with chains. That's what I've chosen to do for this cycle. Then at the end of my speed cycles, what I like to do is do some sub-max work for 1 week and then go back to the speed work. So when I say sub-maximal work, it's anywhere from 85 to 90-ish% of my 1 rep max for a 3 to 5 rep max. Basically, I'm working up to a heavy 3 to 5. Okay, not a max effort 3 to 5, just a heavy 3 to 5, just to give my body some rest from the speed work, and then see how well that speed work carried over. Also, I have another 4-week cycle where I just basically bounce back and forth between speed and sub-maximal work. That's for the squat. Then after, we have speed deadlifts. Okay, this is very similar. We have 5 sets of 5, 5 sets of 2, and then 10 to 15 singles. Those are some things I found that work really well for speed deadlifts. I like to use anywhere from 50 to 60% of my 1 rep max, and I can use accommodating resistance, or I can just do straight up weight with a higher percentage, like I was talking about in the dynamic upper body workout. So if it's a higher percentage, I like to really go no higher than 75%-ish, depending on if I am doing the 5 sets of 5. I like to do it around 70-75%, maybe even as low as 65%. If it's 5 sets of 2, it could be slightly heavier because the fatigue is not there. It's just 1 or 2 explosive reps. So that's what makes that different. Then every 2 or 3 weeks or so, I like to do some sub-maximal work. Once again, anywhere from a heavy single to a heavy 5 and everywhere in between. But that's after setting it up with some speed work. So that's a common theme for me on dynamic lower workouts. I like to do some speed and then see how well that speed is carrying over to some heavy sub-maximal work. Then afterwards, you have the assistance work. Things like hamstrings, back, glutes, quads, low back, abs, and calves. Anything that you feel needs worked on, you can do that in this workout. The rest periods should be fairly brisk, and this should be the time to get in the most volume that you can. However, don't overdo it. You shouldn't be doing 17 exercises just because you want your dynamic workout to be a higher volume workout. Choose what you need to be worked on and maintain the other things through squatting and deadlifting. That is how you get the most bang for your buck out of just training in general. You don't have to isolate every single muscle group. For example, a kettlebell swing works your lower back, your spine, like your spinal erectors, your glutes, and your hamstrings. So you can't just call that a glute exercise because that's where you feel it the most and just feel you need to do something else for your hamstrings and your spinal erectors. Understand that when you're doing a compound movement, it is accomplishing more than one thing. So save the isolation work for stuff you need to hit hard. That is your weak points, such as glute ham raise for the hamstrings, maybe back extensions for your hamstrings, glutes, and your erectors. So figure out what needs to be worked and then hit it with isolation work. But please keep the exercises to a minimum. So that's basically my dynamic lower setup. If you like this video, please click that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Share the videos with your friends if you think they'll like them as well. If you have a question for me, drop them in the comments. And as always, class is dismissed.